Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Let's wait a minute or two for more people to join. In the meantime, you can post in chat where are you from, where you are joining us today, and after a minute or two, we will start. Yeah, today's topic is very interesting, so I hope you will enjoy it. Let's wait a couple more seconds. All right, I think we can start. Yeah, so today's topic of the webinar is autonomous testing for Dynamics 365 finance and operations from real user behavior to regression automation. So, in simple words, I will talk today about mm, automation of testing, but without need of creating test cases ourselves. Uh, yeah, so let's start with the agenda. So first, we will talk briefly about the challenges in regression. What is the autonomous testing? How we understand in Xplus the autonomous testing. Few words about discovery, our product, and understanding real business patterns. What does it mean? AI candidate selection quality score. This is one of the features in our discovery application that help us to recognize good candidates for the test cases. Today we will have two parts of the demo. So yeah, on the first part, we will focus more on discovery application. On the second part, I'll more focus on testing application. Yeah, web production recordings are not enough. Few words about it. Batch optimization and overnight processing. So here I will show you our newest feature, which is AI Optimizer, human sign-off, because this is really important point for everything that uses AI. And yeah, I will show you this as well. Coverage report, one of the reports available in Discovery application. Few words about our new product, so the premium version of testing by Xplus. So yeah, this is our free product that can be used by anyone by just registering on the website. Few final outcomes and then Q&A session. All right, so first we will start with the challenges with the regression. Yeah, so why are regression suits are so difficult to maintain? Probably there are dozens of reasons why it is hard to maintain the suits of regression testing, but here I have few that are really important. Yeah, so not knowing which business processes should actually be tested. So this is very common for organization that scoping regression testing sometimes is very challenging, right? Usually in the company, we don't have like one place, one person maybe that knows every process in the organization, knows how every process works inside Dynamics 365, and who knows what processes are required to be testing. This knowledge is splitted throughout multiple people, multiple uh, departments in the organization. So very often, test managers may have a problem to find out what should be tested, what is critical to testing, which processes are less critical to be tested and can be tested less, how many variants of the processes we have, and so on. Yeah, and the next point, of course, is related to the previous one, which is dependence on SMEs and key users. Yeah, so of course, testers or test manager in the organization will also require knowledge about processes if we want to create even manual test cases, we need to know processes very well. We need to know what steps in the processes are, what steps are important, which steps are priorities, where we should have the validations of the expected results on the steps. So for all that, we without proper tools, we need to depend on the business, on the SMEs. So this is very common that when we start test automation, we work closely with the SMEs and the business, even if documentation exists. Yeah, to get the knowledge about the critical things in every test case, critical steps, expected results, and so on. So it of course requires business to be taken out of the daily operations to help testing, and also testing needs to rely on somebody else than on own knowledge or the documentation. Outdated process documentation. So of course there are organizations that have all the processes documented, so it can be the starting point for testing, manual or automated. But again, if the documentation is outdated, and we face it pretty often, that the documentation was created for the processes, but was created during implementation or just after implementation. So very often we see outdated documentation. So of course this is problematic for test automation when we want to automate something, and we see that the process inside the system is different than the documentation. Of course, we go back to the second point. So we again need to talk with the business, talk with SMEs, take them again out from daily operations to help us understand the outdated documentation. So this is also a challenge why maintaining those regression suits is difficult. Yeah, sometimes test cases may fail because process changed and we were not informed by that. So the next point is changes in processes that are not being tested. So this is also common that in the business process changes. There is a full process of making the modification to the process, sign off the modification to the process, but very often at the end, IT department or test department is not informed that something changed, and then it may lead to different situations, like test case fails because process changed, or even I think the worst situation that test case pass, but still we get the fail pass, right? Test case pass, but in reality process changed, so we should be checking something else than what we tested, and we might have the yeah. Failed past execution. So we think that process is okay, but in reality, we didn't really test then the newest changes. So we risk that process remains untested. And the last point is process variance remains untested. So of course, maintaining the regression suite, the full test plan of regression is demanding, is time consuming. It requires all of the time to create test cases, maintain them, and so on. So what we see very often is that we are very often testing only the required minimum. Yeah, so very often we can see that processes, they have like 1, 2, 3 variants tested, but there might be many other variants that are never tested. There are some business paths that only users know, and again, we as the testers don't know those paths. We don't know that there should be a test case for some important things. Yeah, and of course, maintaining very large test plan with a lot of variants is really difficult. So that's why very often we see only the critical things tested and variants tested just on demand or even not tested. So these are the challenges that we face today with regression testing. No matter if this is manual or this is automated testing, all those points they are relevant and they make us struggle with maintaining the good regression suite, good regression test plan. Right? So, what if we could build regression tests based on what users actually do in Dynamics 365? So, yeah, you can imagine that if we could see how every user works in Dynamics, and if we could see what paths everyone is taking, what things are usually executed, what things are most frequently executed, um, how could it help us? Yeah, we believe that observing the system, observing Dynamics 365, allows us to test real behavior, real paths that users are taking, not only the documented test cases, documented processes, but actually everything that we decide that is important and requires testing based on the on what we see, what we see in our applications, which allows us to see the real behavior of the users. So you can imagine that if we can see what users do, we can create test cases that simply reflects it. And you can test real paths instead of just documented paths. So today I would like to talk about it. I would like to show you how can we achieve this? How can we build test cases based on what users actually do in 365? All right, so what is the autonomous testing and how we in Xplus, how we understand this? Yeah, so in our company, the autonomous testing combines discovery by Xplus, testing by Xplus, and AI Optimizer. So there are two products. Discovery is one product, testing by Xplus is second product, and the AI Optimizer is a feature that exists in testing by Xplus application. Combination of all those allows us to talk about the autonomous testing and what is the goal? The goal is to observe real Dynamics 365 usage, and this is done by Discovery by Xplus. Discovery by Xplus is our observability applications, which can basically do what the first one says. Yes, it can observe what people do inside Dynamics 365, and also this application can show us real business patterns and paths, real paths executed by the users. Thanks to that, we can identify business processes automatically. Yeah, so Discovery by Xplus can observe, can identify business processes. And the next point that Discovery can do can show us good candidates or best candidates of every identified business process for automation, because we are observing real Dynamics 365 usage. For every business process, we may have hundreds of different executions by different people with different variants. So it is challenging to select what should be turned into automated script. So that's why there is a feature in Discovery that allows us to automatically evaluate which executions, which patterns are good candidates for automation. I will show this today also on the demo side, so you will understand in practice what we mean. Yeah, then transform the candidates into reusable automated tests. This is the part where testing by Xplus is used. So every candidate from discovery can be turned into automated test case. And thanks to that, we can test case by test case grow our regression suite and our coverage with identified business processes and candidates from discovery. Yeah. So how does help us, and how autonomous testing is different from simple test automation? The biggest difference is in creating the test cases. In standard way, standard approach for test automation, we take the manual test cases or documentation of the business processes, to create scripts out of that in testing by Xplus or in other tools, let's say in Playwright, Selenium as well. We would need to take the documentation and create automated script ourselves. With autonomous testing, it is different because we can use some platform, some tool, in our case, this is Discovery by Xplus, that will show us what people do in the system, what processes they execute, which executions of those processes are the best candidates to become test cases, then transform it into test cases and build your coverage iteration by iteration with new things that you discover from your real usage, from your real behavior of the users. So this is how we understand autonomous testing. So the test automation without need of creating test cases ourselves, instead of we can observe test cases and just reuse them. Of course, I will show this today, so you will see how it works. All right, so a few words about Discovery by Xplus. So this is our observability application. So basically, Discovery can observe every activity that users do in Dynamics 365, every click, every activity, every action done by the user inside the system gets registered. Here on the screen, you can see that user was clicking some buttons on the keyboard, and those got registered, and we can see this in our application. Of course, I will show it today as well. So what you can do with it, you can record user sessions, analyze business activities of your users, identify recurring business patterns, so those paths which users take, group similar executions together, show variants of the same process. So of course, Discovery has much more use cases than only testing, because when you observe how users behave in the system, you can get very much information out of it. You can create better security roles with it. You can optimize your business processes when you find out your processes and you see some ineffectivenesses in how users execute processes. You can then optimize it. So Discovery can be used in this matter as well. But of course, Discovery helps in testing as well, because it shows us the scope for testing, the list of processes that we should test in simple words. So by observing, we can get candidates for the test cases. All right, AI candidate selection and quality score. A few words about it. Because Discovery works on observing the production, yeah. So we see real behavior, real executions, real paths that users take to post the invoice, to create customer, and for any other process. We see this as a raw data, yeah. So the Discovery will show us those executions step by step, exactly how user did it. So many recordings out of production, they can become test cases very quickly, but there are also those recordings from production that will be okay as a test case, but they will have some things to improve, or we have that much executions of single process that it's hard to select which one from different executions of the same process should be used as a test case. Because in the production recordings, very often we will find some user mistakes. Yeah, user, of course, when he's working on production, he doesn't think about testing. So if he needs to correct something, he just corrects it. So in the recording, we will see this as well, that user made some mistake in the process, then he fixed the mistake. But of course, from testing perspective, this might be something that we don't want in the test case. So this kind of execution will not work as a good candidate for testing, because it will have too many steps that may break execution, or just are simply not needed in a test case. So sometimes it's really hard to evaluate which production recordings are good fit. So that's why we have automatic option to show you this. What else we found in production recordings? Experimental behavior. Sometimes users take some side steps in the processes to check something, to go a little bit custom way to finish the process. So this kind of recordings also may be not the best fit for the test cases. One-time transactions. So there are, of course, executions of the processes that are exceptional, that they happen like once a year, maybe even once, and they do not require testing. Yeah, so of course, if we have access to every execution of the process, we have it recorded, then we may also find executions of the processes that are one-time transactions, and this won't be good fit for test case as well. Of course, incomplete flows. There are also processes that were unfinished, that were dropped in the middle. Those will also require too much additions, too much modifications if we would like to use it as a test case. So those kind of recordings, they might be also the wrong fit. And then at the end we have the quality score. So quality score is feature that allows us to take any execution and identify if this is a good fit for automation. Our mechanism will check if there are user mistakes, if there are some experimental behaviors, one-time transactions, and all those elements to check if this is good fit for test case or not. So AI evaluates execution and identifies process completeness. Yeah, so when we evaluate execution of the process, we check if process was finished from start till the end. Yeah, to avoid incomplete flows. It also checks consistency. It tries to see if process was really really finished, if there were any mistakes, errors, and this kind of mistakes in the process. So this is also evaluating if there are user mistakes and also other things in the test case. Repeatability. So of course, if we have one-time transactions or this kind of processes, our AI evaluation will also check if process can be easily repeated for multiple times on test environment, and if this is business relevance, if what we think about the process is really the process. Yeah, so we may take execution and we think this is like invoice posting, but in reality this is something else. Yeah, so AI evaluation also checks that. All right, and now we will go to the first part of the demo. Now I will try to explain the same things that I already mentioned, but on real examples in real system. Yeah, so we will start with Discovery by Xplus, so our observability application. Few words about how it works. So it basically works inside Dynamics. Sorry for let me log in. Yeah, so it works basically inside Dynamics 365 to capture activities of the users. So first, I will show you a few activities just for you to understand what observability means. Yeah, so in activities section, I can basically see the recent activities that were captured, that were registered. This application works all the time in my Dynamics 365 and is capturing everything that users do. Yeah, so I can see that like half hour ago, I can see that some user started the session, the other one was clicking on contacts. Yeah, and basically here I will see everything that happens in my Dynamics, every activity. Of course, we have plenty of options of finding out data that is interesting for us based on the users, based on the elements used. So this is what we mean by the observability. Possibility to observe everything that happens in Dynamics, every click, every selection, and of course, every process execution, because out of those simple activities, simple sessions of the users, Discovery then creates list of patterns. Yeah, so it tries to find out real processes, real patterns executed by the users, and show this to us. Yeah, so patterns for test manager is nothing else than the scope for testing, right? Here we will see what patterns are executed, how often they are executed, how long users work on the processes, so how much time we are spending on each process. Yeah, here we have option to filter out those processes on which users spend the most time. Of course, based on the number of executions, we can see which processes are critical, which ones are executed very often. And yeah, this is basically a list of processes of patterns that by my users execute inside Dynamics. Yeah, so if we take a look on create and process free text invoice, here I will be able to display every execution of free text invoice posting that happened in my observed dynamics. Yeah. So let's wait for the data. Yeah. So here I have below, I have a table that shows me every execution of this process. This is create and process free text invoices. Yeah. So each one of them is simply execution of this process. Yeah. So let's take a look on some random one. All right, so this is execution with unique ID, individual ID. It was taken yeah, 4 months ago already. It was done by this user and so on. So I have full information about when it happened, who did the process, on which dynamics, and which legal entity as well, how long it took. And below I can see steps that user took. Yeah, so now I can see how user created and posted free text invoice. Yeah, so here I have full list of those steps. I can see what user did. And what I can see in this execution, that user created the invoice, filled out the fields, created another line, one more line, then he saved and he clicked post. But in this execution, I don't see confirmation for posting. So probably user canceled it or just stopped the session when he clicked post. So invoice in general was not posted. So now, if I need to decide what executions are a good fit to use it as a test case, yeah, today we are talking about testing. So of course, Discovery allows me now to take any execution and create test case out of it. But how to find out which are the good fits, which are the good candidates? I may have hundreds of those executions. Yeah, in this case, I have 500 of executions of the same process. This is how many times my users did this process. Yeah, so it is very challenging sometimes to find out which processes are a good fit. So yeah, today I was talking about the quality score. Yeah, so we have automatic option that can evaluate execution and tell you if this is good candidate for a test case or not. So let's take one of the executions and let's try to find out if this is good candidate or not. So evaluation takes approximately 30 seconds, maybe up to a minute, and will show me in the percentage if this is good fit for test case, for becoming the test case or not. Of course, I have some executions that I evaluated earlier. So yeah, here I have different results. All of them are quite good fit. Usually, if the execution is around 80%, then this is good candidate for becoming the test case. Of course, the more the better, right? All right, so let's see our execution if this was evaluated. Oh, I think I lost it. Let's refresh and it should be that already. Maybe let's take one more. Sorry, I lost the ID of mine execution. So let's take another one. Yeah, so thanks to that, we do not only observe the system, we can find the processes, and also thanks to AI, by this mechanism, very quickly we can find out good fits as a test cases. All right, it was done. This one was evaluated for 73%. Let's take a look inside what we have. This is this execution that I was showing. Yeah, it was why this is not 100% because of the things that I already mentioned. We can see that user started by clicking new, so probably he was already in the module. So for the test case, we require step, of course, to open module first. There is no confirmation for posting. So as a test case, when I want to use it as a test case, I would need to add this step as well to confirm posting. But in general, this execution is not bad. 73% is really okay to reuse as a test case. But of course, here I had execution which was evaluated higher, which is the first one. It says 96%. And yeah, here you can see why this percentage is higher. Here we have this navigation step to the module, and I can see also finished posting. It was confirmed that it is way better fit as a test case. Probably I can just take it straight away and use in my regression. All right, so once we know what processes we do, we know which executions are good fits as a test cases, then what we can do about it? Of course, we can reuse now our testing application to upload the candidates, those that we evaluated with the high score. We can now import to our testing application, and we will do that, and this will finish the first part of the demo. Let me just copy my ID. For now, I will add just one execution, so you will see how the import works. Yeah, so I can now import scripts from Discovery application. Of course, I have to select project. Then I can select from which pattern I want to get the executions. So in my case, we were checking create and process pretext invoices. So I will select this one. And here below, I have every execution. So now I need to find out by the ID, the one which I want to import. I will use the one with without space. Yeah, the one with this high quality score. So this is the best fit for me as a test case. Yeah, so thanks to that, thanks to observing my production, my dynamics, I could create test case like that very quickly without recording anything, without asking business how to do free text invoice. Instead, I could just take what was already done in the system based on real usage, based on real execution of the process. Now I have test case without any manual work, any manual effort. Yeah, so this is the first part of test autonomous, right? Instead of creating it from scratch, recording it based on some documentation that I got, or based on some business knowledge that I had to take from SMEs. Instead of it, I can observe, I can find out patterns, find out executions, and create test cases out of it. So this will be the end for the first part of the demo. On the next part, I will show you the next like elements of autonomous testing, because it would be nice if we could find only executions with 90 plus quality score. Of course, there are processes, there are executions that will be evaluated less, but still, if we would like to reuse them, there is option that we can automatically also fix even broken executions, and this I will show on the second part. All right. So why there are executions, there are some production recordings that are not enough. Yeah. Typical things, production specific data, right? We need to execute our test cases on a regression environment, on test environment. So of course, when we are observing production, user will also use production data to finish the process. So very often, one of the things that we need to change after importing execution from discovery is the data, is to change data from production specific to test data, to some kind of already prepared data for testing. Yeah. Redundant navigation. Yeah, users may be observed, but very often user will end up work with dynamics only minimized. And when he starts the work, he just opens dynamics already in the module that he's interested in, and he's doing his work. And of course, this kind of execution, if we want to reuse it as a test case, will require adding the navigation. Sometimes we don't know exactly where user was when he started his work. So this kind of additions or changes to those recordings also happened. Like in this example that I showed you, we had this execution which was 70 something percent, and one of the steps that was missing was the navigation step. That was probably because user already opened a new session with on the free text invoice form, and that's why we didn't have this step. Missing validation. This will apply to every production recording that we want to import as a test case, because users on the production, they are executing process, but they are not testing, of course. So they are not doing any validations during the process execution. So the obvious thing to add to those recordings would be the verification steps to verify expected results for every test case. Yeah, so after importing execution from discovery, this is also next step that we should take to add validation to the process. User-specific actions. So this is what I meant. We can have perfect execution of the process, very good candidate for test case, but there are some steps that are, let's say, redundant because user was checking something, user was unsure to do something, he needed to go to another module for a second to check something, but in general, the execution is okay. So in this case, this kind of user-specific actions, very often they need to be removed or changed in the test case, so they won't break execution of test case. And of course, for test automation, we want repeatable test cases. Yeah, so some user-specific actions, user-specific steps may break the repeatability of the test cases. And of course, environment dependencies. Yeah, there might be some things that apply only to production. They are not present outside of production environments. So if user was recorded on production, we on test environment we may miss some things that are not available on test environment. Yeah, so autonomous testing do not eliminate testing expertise. Yeah, so once we imported something from discovery, still test manager tester is required to see if something needs to be changed. Maybe some steps require changes or removal. And of course, testers should also check what should be validated in the process and add validation steps to always validate expected results. But of course, still, discovery reduces by a lot the effort on knowing what should be tested, knowing how the process looks, getting the knowledge of the process, record the steps of the process, and so on. We just need to tailor those recordings a bit. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. So what is our answer? Because With autonomous testing, we don't want to do too many things manually. So that's why we introduced very new feature to our testing application, which is AI Optimizer. This feature is available for any test case created in testing by Xplus. It can be used to any script that exists in the system. But the intention of AI Optimizer is, of course, integration to discovery. So when we import those recordings, and as we mentioned, some of them may require changes, require changing the data, adding the steps, maybe removing steps. All this can be done by AI, right? So if we want to talk about real autonomous testing, we don't want users to be fixing those recordings from discovery. So AI Optimizer can do multiple things to make this raw production recordings into real test case with the correct data, with correct steps and the sequence of steps. Also, it can add validations automatically to the step. You can prompt where the validation should be added, and AI can do it for you. And the best thing for AI Optimize is that you can optimize things on demand, but there is also option to schedule optimization. So in simple words, you can use discovery to observe your users, to observe your candidates for testing. When you select them, you can import all of them to testing application. Let's say tester imports 50 executions, 50 processes, and then you can put them in a batch for AI to optimize, to make changes in them, to find out the broken steps, the mistakes in those recordings, and automatically fix them. And by the end, those optimized scripts, they are waiting for the review. So you can run your optimization overnight, and in the morning you can get set of test cases that were optimized after importing from discovery, and you have, of course, the final sign-off for the review of those test cases. So human is always in the loop. So there is no risk that AI will change something and that you didn't want. Of course, you have full control over it. Mm, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so human sign-off for each optimized script. You can review AI changes, compare the original script to the one that AI changed. You can validate the result of script, and then you have decision if you would like to accept this optimization or reject it, or maybe rerun optimization with maybe new prompt to help AI understand what you intended with optimization. And why there is a human sign-off? Of course, test autonomous requires AI to reduce the manual effort uh, for uh, for test automation, but we always want users to be responsible for the test cases. So we believe that AI may make mistakes. AI may not correctly understand the intention of the script, intention of the user. So of course there is always human sign off. So every user after running the optimization have this option to sign off or reject optimization. And you can do that also in a bulk. So if you run 50 scripts overnight for optimization, in the morning you can go one by one and review them, or do them in bulk if you are satisfied with the optimization. You can even in bulk sign off multiple scripts at once. So now I will show you this part of test autonomous. So let's jump in now to testing by Xplus. So our testing application. Here we have our test case that we imported from Discovery. And let's assume that this test case is not suited for my test environment. For example, I may have wrong customer because I have customer from production, but on test environment, maybe I have different ones, main accounts, and so on. So if we need to make those changes, there is option to use AI Optimize. So let's turn it on. So AI Optimize can do multiple things with your script. So it can generate unique test data for the process. It can use like sequences of number. It can use also variables, or it can directly connect to MCP of Dynamics to find out correct data in Dynamics system as well. There is also option that AI will go into the interaction with the user that schedules optimization. So AI, if it will stop on something, he may ask questions for any change that he's doing. So if you want to have more control over optimization, there is option for that. And of course, we have also place to prompt our intention to optimizer. So here we can add things like change customer ID on step. It was 6, I believe. Like remove redundant steps and add validation after posting. Yeah, so I can give instruction to AI. So it will help it to understand the process, understand changes required in the process, and do what is required. Optimizer takes few runs of every optimization. So it tries to run the script, then it tries to fix it, runs it again and again, multiple times until it finds out that script works. And of course, you can do it on demand. You can run it in any time. But as mentioned, there is also option for batch optimizations. So even if I have multiple scripts for optimization, I can add them all at once, and then they would be visible in the optimization panel. So here I can see queued processes, so the scripts that I selected, and they will get optimized in the background of the application on the selected day and time. In my case, this is set to run optimization every 10 p.m. So this will start on 10 p.m. to run optimization overnight. So I will be sure that nobody gets involved, nobody is working on my test environment. But of course, you can select any other date. Of course, you can add prompts to every script in a queue. You can also remove steps from scripts from the queue if required. And if optimization starts, it will be visible on the running. Maybe let's execute one optimization. Probably we won't be able to see the result from optimization because it takes some minutes to optimize the script. But yeah, when the script starts, it is visible here, and we can see what is optimized at the time. And then we have summary, so we can see executions that we can sign off, or also failed optimizations if AI tries to optimize the script, but script still fails, or script has some problems and the script cannot run fully. Then, of course, it will go to failed optimizations, and of course, you have options to rerun optimization or maybe try something else. And for those that were finished and they are for review, we can use the review panel to see exactly what AI did. There is a summary of all the changes. Below we can see also which steps were changed, which steps were removed, which were added to the process. And let's see what happened in my process. Here below we have steps that we can compare. So what I can see, AI removed steps with hard-coded data. Yeah, I was using some hard-coded value like one-time value, but this process is customer creation. So of course, yeah, customer creation. So of course, to create customers, I cannot reuse the same value again and again. So that's why optimizer selected number sequence for customer account and number sequence for customer name. So here I can see that he removed some steps and then he changed those. He recorded them again from scratch and added sequence for the customer account, sequence for customer name. He selected customer group as well. And then he added also the country region selection because it was missing in the process. And then the rest of the steps stay the same. So me as a user, I can now reject this optimization, re-optimize this process. Of course, I can download full report from optimization if I need, or when I'm satisfied with the changes, I can sign it off. And there are two options that I can decide for sign off. I can overwrite the original script with all the new changes, or I can keep original script and keep the optimized copy. I will use override the original script to not create too many scripts without need. So thanks to that, script is now signed off. I can go to it. And here I can see the changes that AI made. Yeah, so it added sequences, and now script is ready to be executed. Now I can even run it. Yeah. So this is what we understand by autonomous testing. So instead of recording every process based on documentation, based on different things, we can simply observe dynamics, find out the patterns, turn patterns into test cases, and use AI to turn even broken production executions into real test cases that can be added to our regression suite. And this way we can improve our coverage because we see every new variant that comes that was executed. We can see new processes that were added and also the changes that users make to the processes. All right, so let's get back to our PowerPoint for a moment, and then we will have the Q&A session. I can see already some messages. Yeah, so final outcome to sum up, we observe, we discover patterns, we do the quality score and coverage analysis. We can then import every candidate to testing, use AI to optimize those production recordings, approved by human, and at the end, add the test cases to the regression suite. And of course, you don't need to work on single script. You can do everything in a bulk. So yeah, this way you can speed up the automation of testing in your organization. Last point that I didn't mention yet is the coverage report, because even if we have regression suite, even if we run our regression, we may not test everything that is required by the business. So Discovery has also this feature to check what things are covered by our testing and how it works. It works based on the entry points. So we can run report that will show us which entry points were used and which entry points were not used. So basically, you can take your test environment, see which, take your test environment, execute your test cases there, and then run coverage report in Discovery to see in this period when test cases were executed, which entry points were used and which entry points were not touched, not used. And thanks to that, based on the entry point names, you know which places you tested, which places you touched with your testing, and which areas, which places in Dynamics were not touched by your scripts, by your test cases. So thanks to that, you can see what things you cover and what things are still missing in coverage. Of course, this requires some analysis, but by analysis of those entry points, you can quickly find out those places which are untested. Yeah, final outcome. So what customer gets at the end? Better test coverage, faster automation of test cases because no need of the business, no need of the documentation. Data-driven decisions, so you can use coverage report to find out based on the real data, based on this report, you can find out which places are not tested, not by assumptions, but the real data that you get from coverage report. And of course, the biggest point is reduce dependencies on SMEs, on the business. Discovery helps us identify important things for automation, and everything that we want to automate can be important. All right, a few words about our new product, new release, Testing Freemium by Xplus. Here on the screen, you can see QR code. If you scan it, you will be redirected to the page where you can register yourself to get instance of Testing Freemium for you. So Testing Freemium is full application. It allows you to create a regression test, automate your test cases. But this is free version, so it has few limitations, like one user per instance, up to 150 test scripts, 1020 test executions per year. There is a DevOps integration built in, RSAT migration, so task recording migration, so you can take your old recordings from RSAT and reuse them. You don't need credit card because this is completely free, and there is no time limit, so you can reuse this as long as you need. And of course, any freemium installation very quickly without necessity to setting up new environment can be upgraded to premium paid version without any complicated migration. All right, thank you very much for the attention. I hope you liked the topic today. Now let's see if we have some questions. Yeah, so we have few questions on the chat. Could Discovery be used to identify key users that could be used to lead train other users based on their behavior? Yes, of course. This can be done because Discovery basic can I maybe like this? Sorry. All right. Yeah, so in Discovery, basically, you see everything. You see every process and every execution. So here you can see even user performance on every process. So you can see which users executes process in the best way. Here I can see myself, even I'm not the best one. Somebody is faster on the process. So even based on that, you can find out some users that maybe are struggling with their work, with the processes that they need to do. So yeah, of course you can do this. Is this tool specific to this 365? Is open to use for other platforms? For now, this application works for finance and operations, but yeah, this question is coming back again and again. So of course, we have plans in the future to go outside of finance and operations, to use Discovery also for customer engagement and Business Central. But for now, it's hard for me to say when you can expect this kind of versions. Can Discovery take demo files, recordings in MP4 through the video transcription and create test scripts out of that? No, this is not possible. It does generate a test script. Yes, so simply Discovery observes the real paths, real executions of the processes, and you decide if you want to generate test case out of it. Thanks to this quality score, you can decide based on some AI analysis. Okay, so there is a question from Krishna. Hi, Pavel, if we want to run linked scripts end-to-end test processes, creation of sales order to invoice, how it works in automatic way uploading from Discovery tool? Yeah, so of course, end-to-end test cases, this is something that we will work in the future to be able to take not only patterns, but maybe longer processes. For now, how to go through this? I would say first you need to find out all the elements of end-to-end process, all the sub-processes, import all of them to testing by Xplus, then optimize every test case. You can even prompt to AI that you would like to reuse those test cases in end-to-end scenarios, so AI will be aware of it. So it can also help probably with the steps. But anyway, you can optimize every execution and then for now link it manually in testing by Xplus by creating the master script and linking scripts by the variables. So the last part of linking scripts together would be manual, but of course every sub process in end-to-end can be taken from discovery and can be automatically optimized. Okay, there is a question also from Gavin. Does the tool come shipped with D365 out of the box functions and associated test scripts, allowing the solution to only look at customizations, configurations, and integration changes to test that these do not break out of the box and that the changes work? So if it comes to customizations, integrations, so if those customizations, integrations are used within the process, are used within Dynamics 365, we will see that. And it can be included in your test cases, of course. But of course, if your integration goes outside of Dynamics, our discovery will not see this. Yeah, so it will start seeing the process whenever it starts in Dynamics. So if you go somewhere outside or you come from outside, we will see only this Dynamics part. So if we talk about autonomous testing, probably you would need to take the recording from production, optimize it, make it work, and in this case, if you want to add some steps to external integration, you would need to add those steps manually. Can the solution store test scenarios and test cases that could be used as baseline for future projects? Yeah, so both discovery keeps the data. So you have option to clean out the data after some time, but yeah, in general, discovery will keep the data, so you can take even executions taken like year ago and reuse them as a test cases. Or if you import something to testing by Xplus, here you have also control. Every test case stays here until it gets removed. So you can keep it also in testing. Also, okay, non-NG, okay, also interested if the testing automation can be applied to integrated third-party ISV solution outside of this 365 system. Yeah, if it comes to testing standalone, yeah, there is built-in recorder. So of course, if you keep this traditional approach to record test cases, you can go outside of Dynamics and add to your test cases imported from discovery all those steps that were done in external ISVs. Of course, you can also create standalone test cases for any web applications, because testing by Xplus can work with web applications. We are able to add basically any URL as an environment and create scripts there. Most of the applications, they will work out of the box. Of course, our main focus is Dynamics, but yeah, feel free to use testing by Xplus to other web applications as well. But the observability works only in D365 for now. Testing Premium is free, but is there a free fee for the required observability module? Yes, so if you have the Testing Premium application, you would need the Discovery app anyway, because the Discovery application observes. And there is no freemium version for Discovery by Xplus for now. I don't know for the future, but for now, this is the paid solution. So you need anyway Discovery by Xplus, but the testing premium is also limited. For instance, the optimizer is there, but it is also limited. So to fully utilize this autonomous testing, you would need both paid version, both discovery and testing. But some parts are also possible in free version, but the optimizer is less powerful, I would say, in freemium version. Does the observability impact the performance of the 365? No, it don't, because we are working on the very top layer of Dynamics. Our mechanism is simply observing the events that are happening in the system, the requests that are appearing in Dynamics. So we are not using any telemetry of D365. We do not use API of Dynamics as well. We work like a top layer in the browser of the user to capture the activities. And we tested also the performance impact of our solution. And so far, we didn't found any relevant impact on the performance. These days, we have also very large customers with observability working 24/7 without any issues. Mm. Will you be sharing the presentation recording? Yes, recording can be shared and presentation as well. All right, no more questions. Thank you very much for the time today. I hope you liked it. If you'd be interested in seeing demo of those tools, dedicated demo for you, feel free to reach out to us. Also, I remind you to check our freemium version of testing as well. And thanks again, and see you on the next time.